Well, welcome everybody and everybody that's watching around the world to our farewell briefing for our Police Chief, Scott Whitney. Quickly, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome some of the members of Scott's family that are here. Wife Donna, daughter Peyton, son Luke. I think we need to give them a round of applause. Oh, one snuck in. No stranger to everybody, but Scott's brother Robin is here as well. He's sitting with his compadres over command staff, so thank you for being here. Certainly a bittersweet day. Happy for my chief and my mentor and my friend. Dedicated over 30 years of his life to this city, and his retirement is very well deserved. It's not a day to be sad. It's very unique opportunity when a modern police department has a hometown hero serve as their police chief. And then even more unique opportunity when that hero gets to pass the baton to another internal candidate who's dedicated over half his life to the city and the department. So extremely rarefied air that we are in right now at the Oxnard Police Department. Scott served in the leadership of this organization for nearly 20 years, and his legacy surrounds us every day. A lot of things here, a lot of our younger officers probably don't even realize, but if you know about CIT, if you know about principled policing, if you know about cultural proficiency, if you know about body-worn cameras, if you know about neighborhood policing, that's it. I mean, Scott, you left a pretty lasting legacy here at the police department. It's something to be real proud of. Scott served as our moral compass and calming influence, particularly for Jason and I. We can get a little fired up at times, and we always had Scott to corral us and really lead the way as we tackled some of the department's biggest challenges starting back in 2006. And it really culminated in this incredibly difficult year of 2020. On a personal note, Scott and I spent a lot of time together watching and attending football games, played a lot of poker, tried to beat the stock market. We weren't that good at a lot of that. Well, I wasn't. He was good at some of it. But I could talk for probably an hour about the memories that we have together. Clearly a moment that stands out for me, and particularly for leaders. It's real easy to be the chief and the leader when we're winning the James Q. Wilson Award and crime's going down for 5 years and you're getting accolades and everybody loves you in the community. But for me, what happened on January 29th is really what stood out for me when Scott faced the unthinkable as a police chief, the death of one of his officers. The grace, the poise, the leadership that he displayed when nearly 400 people were just looking to one person to please tell us what to do, please tell us how to act, please tell us what to do in these times. What he displayed to his officers and the Martin family was something I will never forget. So again, I could talk for hours, but I'm not going to. One more legacy that Scott left at OPD was his passion for leadership development. He was always trying to get the people in the organization to be better leaders and learn about leadership. And under his watch, we developed a leadership development program that he affectionately titled the Oxnard Way, and he was very proud to talk about the Oxnard Way to anyone that would listen. So with that, I wanted to present him with a little something. He has a penchant for street signs, and so we got him one that says the Oxnard Way, and it'll help you remember that wonderful legacy of yours. So thank you very much, Scott. So I'll put that over here. So. Your garage is going to look like a Caltrans yard here pretty quick, but so with that, I'd like to introduce a couple of people that are going to come up and make brief presentations. And the first will be Ron Whitney, representing the Fuzz That Was, which is the Alumni Association of the Oxnard Police Department, and followed by that, Edgar Fernandez is going to make a presentation on behalf of the Oxnard Peace Officers Association. So, Ron, it's all yours. Let me wipe down a little bit here. All right, here you go.
Thank you, Eric. I am here to represent the retired organization. As Eric was saying, Fuzz That Was. I actually first met Scott in the early 1980s. I was a young patrol officer taking a Auto 459 report, and a couple of the neighborhood kids were hanging out. One of them said, his last name's Whitney too. Of course, a couple years later, I started reading about his football exploits, first locally, and then off to Oregon. Luckily, Scott came back and followed Roger's footsteps, joining the Oxnard Police Department, where he continued his development as a leader and a true innovator. So I wanted to, it really means a lot to me to be able to represent the Fuzz That Was and present to Chief Scott Whitney in appreciation for your 30 years of loyal service to the city of Oxnard. We welcome you to the Fuzz That Was. And we also have a one-of-a-kind challenge coin that says Chief on it. So, Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chief, on behalf of the Oxnard Peace Officers Association, we appreciate everything that you've done for us, not just being an exemplary member of the OPOA, but going on to be a true advocate for all of us on behalf of every member of the OPOA for all your years of service. We have a plaque that says, Chief Scott Whitney, in appreciation of your years of service, dedication, and leadership to the Oxnard Peace Officers Association, we thank you. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Edgar. Chief, I know you've actually been looking forward to this for quite a while. And Dan Cass, this is hot off the press. Dan Casson got this done, and it's a really incredible piece. And so on behalf of the department, wow, you're going to have, you've got 6 different badges there from the 6 ranks that you held. You have our Oxnard Police Department as well as our OPD SWAT patch. You have your hat pieces. You have an FTO pin, a CIT pin, and then a couple of things that were near and dear to your heart, the pink breast cancer awareness and the autism awareness patch. So pretty cool piece, and it's going to look great right in your living room, Donna, just so you know that. So there you go. Congratulations.
So we've known that this time's been coming for some time, and at first it was in terms of months, and then the months became weeks, which then became days and hours, and earlier this morning is down to the few minutes. As we got closer and closer to this event, I continued to struggle with what to put to words, and it's not because I'm a procrastinator, which I'm not. It's more that when I would start to put my thoughts to paper, I would start to drift back in time and think about all the things that we have been through over the past 14 years, Eric, Scott, and I as a team. So we're here now not only to wish Scott happiness and health in his retirement, but also we have to add that it's his birthday today. Scott and I were promoted to the rank of assistant chief on the same day in 2006. Eric became a commander that same day as well. And that became what I consider to be an exceptional 14-year run. And it's especially unusual for an agency to have such a team like this to run together for so long. And it's also, when you think about it, it's over half of a career. And in some cases in this profession, it's longer than many people actually make it in this dangerous profession. So with a quick look back, Scott has had a great impact on this department since he began in 1990. He served under 5 chiefs before becoming our chief in 2016. In every rank that he has been in, Scott has clearly demonstrated what they call the right stuff. He's always looked for better ways to do things. He's always been a big advocate of change. He's always placed great emphasis upon learning from mistakes, no matter how big they are or how small they are. The great part about this is no one has ever asked him to do these things. He's always done things for the right reasons. His initiative and self-starting nature is a big part of why the department is what it is today, with a reputation amongst its peers as being a progressive and forward-thinking agency. I believe that because of our department's reputation, as well as its demonstrated commitment to hard work, to community policing and strong relationships with the community we serve, that we didn't experience the things that other agencies across the country saw during this year. And what a year this has been. Scott quickly moved up through the ranks of the department. He was promoted to senior police officer in 1995, literally less than 5 years after starting. And some of us remember the old school cops here that didn't consider you to be a rookie until you at least passed 5 years. To add to this, he was promoted to sergeant about a year and a half after that. My first memories of Scott were in an October day in 1993 when I was a recruit. And he was part of a team that was actually the first pre-academy that put cadets, got them ready for the academy. And he was one of our TAC officers for this 2-week period. And compared to his other partner, Scott was the TAC officer that never yelled at the cadets, though he did his share of talking. So here we are in 2020. I will say that my experience with him has been tremendous and unforgettable. I mentioned earlier that both of us were promoted on the same day, and we found ourselves contending with a number of challenges and very hard work right from the get-go. We weathered some very big challenges and some hard times, and we've seen good times. We've done a lot together, we've accomplished a lot, and we worked exceptionally well together. Eric and I could have not asked for a better partnership. I will always view our years as the ideal way that a command staff should be run, especially the way that the chief interacts with the assistant chiefs. So I thank you for that. Before we go any further, we didn't think that Scott had enough stuff to put at his house. So there is another surprise here. I would like to recognize the hard work that Jeff McGreevy put forward. As you know, he's created what seems to become a new thing with our department. And what we have here is, if you go ahead and unveil this, Jeff spent his time on this, and we got, for the past week, we gathered signatures in secret, maybe not so much of a secret, but here you can hang this on your, let's see, pick a room. But yeah, we hope you enjoy it. And so with that, we moved to the time to present Chief Whitney with his retirement badge. But just a little bit about the badge. Badges date to medieval times when knights wore a coat of armor representing their affiliations or allegiances. As time progressed, it became a symbol of policing. In today's world, it is a principal symbol of policing. The Oxnard Police Department badge is our symbol of not just our authority, but also of service and sacrifice. Our badge stands for honor and integrity. It stands for respecting our laws as well as respecting others. Its shield design symbolizes protection, recognizing the sanctity of life and upholding the rights of others. Our badge conveys our department's core values and what we stand for. And Scott, I would like to thank you for holding that shield up high for your entire career. I don't know the statistics behind this, but only a small percentage of officers actually make it all the way to a service retirement. If you think about our upstairs wall on the second floor, the Wall of Honor, and how many officers are on that wall, it is not many when you think of all of those who have been hired, of all that you've known over the years that you've worked, and all of those that you've seen come and go. If you take a closer look at this wall, you will find that a very small fraction of those on the wall have actually served more than 30 years. Prior to you, Scott, The last officer with 30 or more years of service to this department retired 5 years ago. Since then, 30 other officers have added their photo to the wall, and you are the next one that has more than 31 years. You have placed yourself amongst a select few. So, the Oxnard Police Department thanks you for your service, and with that, I would like to present you with your retirement flat badge and ID card and turn the floor over to you.
It's interesting being on the receiving end of that flat badge. The drive over here, I was wondering if I just turn around and go back to my office, can I just act like this whole retirement thing wasn't real? Those of you that know me, you know I'm not an emotional person. I'm just not. But when it comes to family, I'm very sentimental, and I consider everybody in here to be part of my family. It's odd, with COVID, everybody's spread out and, just a few different people from different groups being here. And it's why I haven't been coming up with each presentation, but it's also an example of the Oxnard Police Department, part of the Oxnard way. We make things happen and we make it meaningful for people. Starting with the very first one with Mike Morostica when he retired right after COVID. And we said, no, we're still going to do something. We want it to be meaningful. That was the first time we'd done it in here. This is actually the second one. I think it is very appropriate for me to go out in the rain because when the first winter with our new city manager, he asked me, I wanted to go on a foot patrol. We call them park, walk, and talk now to be fancy, and he asked about, well, is it gonna rain? I said, no, it never rains in Oxnard. He was from Northern California. I said, it never rains in Oxnard. So I think it's good and appropriate for the duck to go out in the rain. I keep getting these emails saying that my password is going to expire on Tuesday. I think I'm good. I don't think I have to change my password. So you guys want the long version, the short version, or somewhere in between? Because it's hard to top what Eric and Jason already said, but you guys know I can go on. And I have not used the term bittersweet. It was actually not a word I even liked. I never understood when people use it. I was like, bittersweet. But the last 4 or 5 weeks, and believe me, I'm as tired of this 8-week roadshow as all of you guys. So that part I will not miss. I am much more of a fan of rolling up my sleeves and doing the work as opposed to receiving accolades and praise. So I'm done with this roadshow as much as you guys are. But it is bittersweet. It's so bittersweet. And people, Alex Arnett asked me this morning, so what does it feel like? And I'm like, well, I just don't think about it. That's how I get by. I don't think about it. And we're geared towards looking forward. So love this place. I love the job. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you guys being here. My 30 years has gone by way too fast. And how many of us have the luxury, or anybody in their career, to think that 30 plus years is going to go by fast? But it has. I went through the academy with people that some of you guys don't even recognize all the names. Felice Thompson, Vince Otani, Rich Camacho, and Jim Stallings. Ken Tugas, he's the only person at OPD that was here, that was here when I started. And when I got into policing, you guys have heard me say this, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had no idea how challenging the job was going to be, how tough it is. But I also had no idea how rewarding the job was going to be. And every single day, whether you wear a uniform or you're in civilian clothes, if you represent the department, we can have positive contacts, positive impacts on people's lives every single day. I was fortunate to have good, solid training officers. I would say the best that our profession has to offer. Bob Camarillo was my first one. First day, I think we took 6 people to jail. Every single day of that month with him, we took somewhere between 5 and 8 people to jail. Normally, I was the only one that I did one report out of those. Those are 10-hour shifts. Just couldn't do that today with all of the paperwork. But he taught me the value of making those narcotics arrests. And we know the job has evolved and it's a different job now. Rick Anderson, Rick taught me the value of knowing the people in your beat, particularly the people that are committing the crimes. I had Doug Wiley next. Doug taught me the value of attention to detail. Bruce Reed, interesting, I had my 4th FTO compared to my first. Bruce didn't make a lot of arrests, but what Bruce taught me was the value of solving problems long-term problems. A couple of my trainees are here, Commander Sharon Giles, Senior Officer Maria Pena. I hope that I was able to share some of the knowledge that I learned from my FTOs, from my partners, my sergeants. Hope I was able to share that with you. You know that you're getting old when your trainees are some of the more senior people in the department. I was also fortunate to work with some of the best street cops around. And there's a long list of them, but I'll just name 2. My brother Roger Whitney and Tyson Hardman, early in my career. Many of my best friends work here at the police department or are within the OPD family. Tim Loomis. Tim always let me eat all the fries at the bottom of the McDonald's bag. When we worked as partners in Colonia, he was the driver. I was faster than him, so he was the driver. I sat in the front seat in case we needed to do a foot pursuit. That meant when we did the drive-through, we ordered. I got the bag and I divvied up the stuff in the bag, kind of like the way it is now, right, with the family. And that little extra shake with the box of fries means the fries go to the bottom of the bag. It was like several months before Tim said, "Hey, how you like those extra fries at the bottom of the bag?" From Tim Loomis to our squad goals team. Squad goals are the people within the department that make all of our special events happen. Thank you guys for stepping up and doing that extra work to connect us with the community and to build morale within the department. To Eric Sonstegard, who typically buys me lunch on Tuesdays after a weekend of football bets. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I had sergeants that took an interest in my career and mentored me. Again, there's many of them. My very first one, Chuck Hoekstra, had a lot of good times with Sergeant Hoekstra, retired as an assistant chief. And Tim Combs was one of he was my sergeant when I worked in the narcotics unit. Both of them, I loved the job that I was at. Both of them essentially, pushed me up into the promotional process. I also benefited from command staff members that I looked to as mentors that took an interest in my career. I looked at as role models that included people such as Gary Amar, Mike Matlock, again, Chuck Hoekstra, Tom Cady, and John Cromback. I was fortunate in 1998 when Lisa died that I had Tim Loomis, Scott Hebert, Mike Matlock, John Crombach, and my two brothers that carried me for quite some time. I worked with 5 police chiefs, from Robert Owens to Jerry Williams, and I learned something from each and every one of them that I've tried to apply while I was in this position. And as Eric and Jason mentioned, the 3 of us worked together since 2006 very closely, and I consider that one of my greatest fortunes that I've had throughout my career, and then particularly as the chief. And I always tell people I got dealt 2 aces when you guys know I didn't get to pick either one of them as assistant chiefs, but I had good fortune there. I worked in many assignments in all 3 of the bureaus throughout my career, and I can say with great confidence, and you all know that here, that the Oxnard Police Department is an outstanding organization. And we know that that does not happen by accident, and it does not happen overnight. It happens in part by hiring the right people, hiring people that have this big heart for public service. And it's been my honor to work alongside of you for all these years. Our department has shown that you can be laser focused on reducing crime, be responsive to neighborhood problems, and you can still enhance and maintain good community relationships. And when you're able to combine those 3, that's really the holy grail in regards to policing. It's been over 3 years since Officer James Langford got into the serious motorcycle accident. I'll never forget how we all came together to support James and his family. And my greatest privilege as the chief was representing the department when Officer Nathan Martin was killed. And we supported Marita and the kids. And if there's one ask today, I'd ask that you please try to stay connected with the Langford and the Martin family. I also know that the families of our fallen officers would love to hear a text, would love to get a call or an email, even if you didn't know their family member or fallen officer. You would love to get that. One of my football coaches used to say, you never leave anything on the field. That means don't pace yourself. This is not a marathon. Do not pace yourself. If you get tired, we'll pull you out and put somebody else out on the field. I've tried to maintain that mindset throughout my career. While I tried to fight the good fight, my wife Donna has helped me finish the race. It's important for me to acknowledge my wife and kids, and to thank them. Thank you, Donna. Our daughter Elle was not able to be here. Peyton and Luke, thank you guys. Before each assignment, each big assignment that I've taken, we talked as a family. Normally it was at Yolanda's. I'd usually wait till I had a margarita, then I would bring it up, tell them what the new job was going to be. But they also made sacrifices with all of those jobs. And I always say when we're at these types of retirements, if an officer is able to make it to a 30-year service retirement, it's because of the support that he or she has from the family. It's been an honor and a privilege for me to serve as the police chief here. This department will always hold a special place in my heart, and I'll never forget how tough the job is, and I will be your biggest supporter, your biggest advocate after I retire. I want to extend my deep gratitude to everyone that I've worked with here. Timing a chief's retirement can be very tricky, and I'm confident that now is the right time, partly because of who I'm handing the baton off to. I don't think that this department has ever had anybody that has been more prepared to be the police chief than we have right now with Jason. I really appreciate Alex Nguyen, our city manager, having the confidence in me, having the confidence in Jason and Eric, having the confidence in the police department to make that promotion. Because I guarantee the go-to, the kind of the knee-jerk is to do an outside open recruitment. Everybody in this room knows that Jason's the guy. Everybody in this room knows that the well is deep here, and we have plenty of talent here. So thank you, Alex. So why is Jason going to be a great chief? Has anybody been an assistant chief for more than half of their career? Holy smokes. He's been an assistant chief for longer than most of our people have been with the department. Most of you don't, many people within the department don't know him as any other assignment. He's always the smartest guy in the room, the most genuine person that I know, committed to the city, committed to the department, committed to you as individual officers and civilian members of the department. So it's a great honor for me to be able to pin the badge, the chief's badge, onto Jason. We're going to do that now. Jason's going to come up. I'm going to pin the badge. And then after that, our city manager, Alex Nguyen, is going to swear Jason in as the next chief. So thank you all.
Good afternoon. So I think today, and only today, I might just be the luckiest city manager in California. This is truly rare to have a moment when you have such an amazing chief go out on a service retirement, and you have an amazing assistant chief prepared to become your next chief. Truly a unique day. So with that, Jason, if you're ready, please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Jason Benites,
Solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Chief Benites.
Wow. My remarks today are best suited in the form of thanks. I'd like to thank those of you who are here with us today, whether you're here in person or here with us online. I'm very sorry that more of us couldn't actually be here in this room today, And I know I am, as well as all of us, are looking forward to a time when we can all sit in the same room face to face once again. Thank you to those who have had a hand in making today's event happen. Eric Sonstegard, Commander Schadinger, Paul Carganilla, Sergeant Thomas, and behind the curtain, Spence. As this event drew nearer, we had to make a lot of last-minute adjustments and changes. It's kind of been calamity into this year. Today's weather was just another one of those things. Just chalk it up to 2020. Thank you to our City Manager Alex Nguyen for not only swearing me in today, but also having the confidence and support in your police department. Thank you to Scott Whitney for your service, your dedication, your leadership, and your friendship all these years. Thank you for presenting me with my badge. I'm deeply honored. Thank you to Eric Sonstegard, with whom I've worked with for 24 years. You've been an exceptional partner, and I'm very fortunate to work alongside you every day. I'd also like to thank those from our Oxnard PD family who provided me with guidance over the course of my career and have been a positive influence. There are too many to mention here today, but I especially would like to thank the 5 chiefs that I've served under: Chiefs Harold Hurt, Chief Art Lopez, Chief John Crombach, Chief Jerry Williams, and Chief Scott Whitney. Some of the Oxnard Police alumni, including retired Assistant Chief Tom Cady, retired Assistant Chief Chuck Hoekstra, retired Commander Bob Elder, retired Commander Marty Meyer, and retired Senior Police Officer Don Elliott. All of those that I have worked alongside during the past 27 years, whether it was in the field or literally the 14 years that I've been in office. Many of you have moved on, but many of you are still here. And to the Whitney family, thank you for sharing Scott with our department. We are very proud to return him to you in both happiness and good health. I would also like to thank my dear wife, Kirsten, without whom I would not be whole. I love you always. And to our Oxnard Police Department family, I owe all of you the most sincere thanks and appreciation that I can possibly give you. From the calls that you take in the dispatch center, to those of you that respond to the calls out in the field, to those support staff that help keep the business running every day, it is what you do each and every day that makes us a great police department. During every waking moment of every day, I realize how fortunate I am to have the honor of serving as Oxnard's next police chief. And it's been said, to whom much is given, much is required. I have been given so much by so many, and it is my duty to devote myself to this department and to this community to the end. We have an outstanding, high-performing police department with many talented people. Oxnard has been making many great number of improvements over time in the way it operates and is heading in the right direction. Chief Whitney set that direction and has kept us on that course for over the past 4 years. We also have a great relationship with our community and that partners with us, and I feel very fortunate to have been presented with the opportunity to continue serving Oxnard in a new role. In working with my colleagues over the years, I feel that we have all set a very solid foundation and are on a good course, and we will continue on this course. Law enforcement in this country is in a very painful and challenging transitional period, and we anticipate many changes and challenges on the road ahead of us. Our department has always been forward-thinking, a learning organization for a long time. We will adapt and overcome. I'm confident that we will continue not just to persevere, but we will continue to succeed. So, enough from me today. We'll have plenty of other opportunities to talk. So with that, it's time for us to have Scott's final radio broadcast, which will draw a conclusion to this event. And I'd like to thank you all for being here, and thank you all for those who are tuning in to this event as well. You ready, Scott? Yep. Let's do it. So if you don't mind, let's head on outside. I believe it's stopped raining, and Scott will do his last radio broadcast.
Station 300.
300, go ahead.
Station 300 is going 10-7.
Attention all units. 300, ID number 4416 is 10-7. Thank you, Chief Scott Whitney, for your 30 years of law enforcement service, your leadership, and commitment to the city of Oxnard.